Last year was a weird year for the Oregon Ducks, yet they still found themselves in the Pac-12 championship game, although they finished second in the North, and beat the USC Trojans to repeat as champions before losing to Iowa State in the Fiesta Bowl. This year, it feels like they may be knocking on the doorstep of the college football playoffs. Will they be able to break through? Let's talk about that. We are now almost done with the month of July, meaning the college football season is right around the corner. This means it is prime preview season, and throughout the months of July and August, I will be previewing every college football team. Yes, all 130, and in this episode, I will be looking at Oregon. Last year, Oregon went 4-3 and 3-2 in conference play and won the Pac-12 championship. This year, they returned 86% of their production from last year, which ranks 9th nationally. On offense, they returned 87% of their production, which ranks 11th nationally, and on defense, they returned 84% of their production, which ranks 19th. Head coach Mario Cristobal returns with a record of 25-10 and a 52-57 record overall. He was a co-offensive coordinator at Oregon until 2017 before being promoted for the bowl game. He was the head coach at Florida International University and took them to a pair of bowl games and a record of 27-47 from 2007 to 2012. And he just signed a 6-year, $27.3 million extension. Offensive coordinator Joe Moorhead enters his second year in Eugene. He had a 14-12 record as the head coach at Mississippi State from 2018 to 2019 and was the offensive coordinator at Penn State from 2016 to 2017. New defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter spent the last 4 years at Cal as their defensive coordinator and was the Fresno State head coach from 2012 to 2016. Joe Salavea has held the co-defensive coordinator position the last 2 years as well. Oregon finished second in the North but played in the title game due to Washington being unable to play due to a COVID-19 outbreak. Mario Cristobal spoke to Athlon saying, "The conference is always going to be the #1 goal, but we want to build upon that and we've made it no secret." When asked about the possibility of the playoffs, he said, "We are getting there. We're not there yet. The expectation for the roster and what it looks like is really high." So they want to be fighting for the possibility of the college football playoffs. On offense, they returned 7 starters. Quarterback Tyler Shuck decided to transfer to Texas Tech, but they returned Anthony Brown, who started 28 games throwing for 4,738 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions at Boston College. He was used in the red zone last year, and in the Pac-12 championship game, he went 3 for 4 and had 2 touchdowns. He played a majority of the Fiesta Bowl game as well. Brown will be challenged by Jay Butterfield and true freshman Ty Thompson and Robbie Ashford. At running back, they are deep and loaded. CJ Verdell decided to return to Eugene and is a powerful running back. Last year, he rushed for 285 yards, averaging 4.4 yards per carry, and had 13 touchdowns before getting hurt. Travis Dye is the speedier option, rushing for 443 yards, averaging 6.9 yards per carry and 1 touchdown last year. Sean Dollar is the most explosive option in the running back room, though. At wide receiver, Johnny Johnson III returns after having 19 catches for 267 yards, averaging 14.1 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Reed also returns having 25 receptions for 281 yards, averaging 11.2 yards per catch and 1 touchdown last year. They returned 9 players with previous starting experience, and along with that, keep an eye on Micah Pittman. When it comes to the offensive line, going into last year, they had 1 career start returning. They still averaged 167 yards per game rushing and only gave up 11 sacks. They returned 6 offensive line with starting experience this year and returned second-team All-Conference center Alex Forsyth. They have 36 combined starts and could be one of the best in the Pac-12. On defense, they returned 7 starters. When it comes to the defensive line, projected top 5 pick Kayvon Thibodeau returns. He had 3 sacks last year and was named the best defensive lineman in the Pac-12 by the offensive lineman of the Pac-12. They lose Austin Faelio and Jordan Scott, but they are changing the defensive scheme, which should lead to an improvement in the run game. At linebacker, Noah Sewell was the Pac-12 Freshman Defensive Player of the Year last year, and they welcome back Justin Flo after missing all but 1 game last year. 2-year starter Isaac Slade Montetia announced he was entering the transfer portal, which kind of came out of nowhere. They lose 2 backups from last year as well. In the secondary, Jamal Hill had 2 interceptions in the Pac-12 championship game and could fit the star nickel position perfectly. Michael Wright is one of the best defensive backs in the Pac-12, and Verone McKinley is also back as a team leader. They are hoping to kick the door down for the college football playoffs this year, like I mentioned earlier. According to Phil Steele, they play the 49th toughest schedule, as Athlon projects them to go 10-3 and 7-2 in conference, as ESPN projects them to win 9.4 games and 7.1 Pac-12 games. I project them to go 11-1 and 9-0 in conference play. Oh wait, let me explain this. I know it sounds a little crazy. I think they win the season opener against Fresno State before losing at Ohio State, but beating Stony Brook, Arizona, at Stanford before going into the bye at 4-1. Then I see them beating California off the bye, and then beating UCLA on the road before beating Colorado at home. The big game of the season will come against Washington, and I project them to beat Washington on the road, as ESPN gives them a 56% chance of winning the game, so it's a toss-up game. Then the following week, they play Washington State, who's coming off their bye, and I think they win that game as well. Coming towards the end of the season, they still will only have their only loss to Ohio State, and I see them going on the road and beating Utah, and beating Oregon State at home to get revenge from last year, and to represent the North in the Pac-12 championship game this year, and they should be in the college football playoff conversation come that time period. But what do you think? How will Oregon do this season? Make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos in the preview series. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.